Let me ask you a question. How long has it been since you've heard the phrase mental awareness? Now, I would guess that you hear that phrase often. And it's good from the standpoint that no one is silently suffering anymore. People are feeling more comfortable talking about their depression and their signs and symptoms and solutions. However, it's bad from the standpoint that they're only being directed to one solution. I'm Joy, the Synergistic Kinesiologist, and I help to supercharge your superhuman. Now, I want to give a disclaimer, and that disclaimer is this. If you get triggered easily from hearing holistic options and alternatives for depression, then you may want to skedaddle right now and go watch something else, because I am giving holistic alternatives. I heard a phrase recently that said depression medication is the biggest or second biggest scam of our time. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And so again, I'm not going to give you conventional solutions. I'm not going to give you the solution that you get from Western medicine. We already know what that is. They use their dollars and their bullhorn and their platforms to make sure you know that they exist and where to get it. And it's so interesting because a while ago I was on social media and I put a post out and I was demonizing depression meds. That's my personal opinion on it. And as I was demonizing it, so many people attacked me. So not only are they paying for these substances, getting addicted to these substances, but they're criticizing people who come against these substances. So that should make you just sit back and say, what's wrong with me? What is it that's causing me to not be more open-minded about solutions? Solutions that might be more natural, less expensive, better for my health and mentality. Okay? So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be sharing other alternatives with you. And I'm telling you right now that I want to let you know that this is a message of hope. This is a message of hope. And you do not have to suffer in silence anymore. So here's the deal. Either you're clinically diagnosed as depressed or you've self-diagnosed based on noticing that you have a lot of the common symptoms that fall into depression. And so I experienced depression before once in my life, and I was self-diagnosed. I wasn't clinically diagnosed. And I'll never forget, at the time, I would send my husband off to work, I would send my kids off to school, and all I wanted to do after they left was crawl back in bed and sleep. That's it. I did not have motivation. I was frustrated. I was angry. I didn't understand what's going on, so I was confused. And that went on for some months, I think like 2 or 3 months. And this is what snapped me out of it. Now, don't use that phrase to people. Don't tell someone who's depressed to just snap out of it, because that is actually a very triggering thing to say. It's demotivating, because if they could snap out of it, they would. But I'm using it for myself for a reason. I snapped out of it one night after having a dream. So I'll never forget, I went to sleep and I dreamt of what I was doing for a living. And I wasn't really doing that in real life, but in my dream I was doing this and it felt real. And when I woke up from that dream, I was excited about that possibility. It excited me. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I started pursuing it. As I started pursuing it, it started growing. It started becoming successful. It started impacting thousands of lives. And so fast forward to today, and I look back and I'm like, I cannot believe that in my case, it was having a purpose that snapped me out of it. When I woke up that morning from that dream, I had a new, energized and electric sense of purpose. And I was so hungry to attain it. And it changed the trajectory of my life. And so I'm telling you, there is hope. This reality that you're experiencing now can definitely just be your past and not your future. But you have to, number one, realize that it is not you. It is just at this moment, you don't know how to help yourself get out of a situation that you are suffocating in. So let me give you some different signs, some common signs of depression, and it may explain a few things. The number one sign, or not number one, this list is not in any particular order, but one of the signs is the loss of appetite. So you can lose your interest in eating. You might start gaining weight or losing weight, but the bottom line is you don't wake up with this sense of wanting to take care of your natural desire to eat. So all of a sudden you feel numb when it comes to your appetite. Another symptom you may have is low energy. Every day when you wake up, it takes energy to make different things happen. It actually even takes energy to think. Not to mention the energy it takes for you to solve problems, handle different situations, the physical movement of your body. All of this requires energy. And when you're going through a depressive state, you don't have that energy. So that's one of the reasons why you may have insomnia or hypersomnia. I had hypersomnia. That means that all I wanted to do was sleep. Some people have insomnia and they have a problem sleeping all throughout the night, and they find it even hard to rest and get comfortable. Another symptom you may feel is a sense of unworthiness. Now, let me tell you something that's interesting, because when you feel unworthy, you're questioning why you're even here on planet Earth. Okay? You're questioning your life, your existence. I have a chapter in my book, Supercharger Superhuman, that talks about your self-image concept and your self-image set point. And what's interesting about that is your self-image is how you see yourself and the world around you. Okay? So when you have a low self-image set point, then you start telling yourself stories. And as you tell yourself these stories about how you suck and how your life sucks and how you have the worst relationships and you're not doing well in your career and you're not doing well as a mom or as a wife, and how do you see how it becomes a vicious cycle of these stories that you're painting? And we have a part of the brain called the reticular activating system that helps us to know what's important to us by what we're constantly thinking or saying. And when it determines what's important to us, it shows us proof of that. I call it the proof patrol. So that means its job is to prove to us that we're right. So when we're painting this story of how life is useless and how we're useless, its job is to prove that we're right. And it gives us different circumstances that we can say, see, yep, I was right. Look, this is something else that happened. Look, here's another thing that happened. And here's the deal. Like, when I was going through depression, there was no social media. Do you realize it's probably 1,000 times worse now? Because in addition to you feeling like crap, you turn on your phone and you look through social media, and it magnifies the fact that everybody else is doing amazing with life. They are achieving their goals. They are looking beautiful. They are dressing nice. They are going to these beautiful destinations and traveling all over the world. And they have these amazing relationships. And they're eating all this healthy food. And you're just looking at this. And it's reminding you of how much your life sucks and how much you are worthless. That is what it's telling you. That is what you're believing. So in addition to you feeling like crap, you're seeing the opposite, and it's reinforcing how you feel. Isn't that crazy? That's a vicious cycle. So you really are on an emotional hamster wheel where over and over again you tell yourself stories. You see other people's stories that look beautiful, and then you're reminded of your own stories. in your real life as you look around. You tell yourself stories, you see other people's beautiful stories, and then you're reminded of your reality as you look around. That vicious hamster wheel that seems to never stop. Another symptom you may notice is that you have suicidal ideations. And that just means that you're either contemplating suicide or you think to yourself like, why am I here? Why am I wasting space? Why am I wasting air? If something happens to me, nobody would care. It doesn't even matter. So now you're telling yourself that life would be better without you, or it wouldn't matter and people wouldn't even notice if you're here or not. Let me tell you something. I personally think people who experience depression and have these suicidal ideations, I personally believe that they are some of the most amazing people on planet Earth. They have the most special and unique gifts ever. They're supposed to make the biggest impact. And so because you're believing these lies, and that's what they are, because you are believing these lies about who you are causing yourself to miss out on this amazing gift that you're supposed to be expressing, and that other people will benefit and from you expressing it as well. You're missing out, they're missing out. You're missing out, they're missing out. No one is winning by you being in this vicious, depressive cycle. Last but not least, as it relates to the common symptoms, is you'll start to lose pleasure and interest in things that used to excite you. So now you don't want to do the fun things you used to do. You don't want to go to the fun places you used to go to. You actually don't even want to be around people. You want to be alone. You want to stay in that pity party and just sit with that negativity and that low energy, and you just want to just stay there because you're starting to feed it. And whatever you feed yourself most starts to become your new norm, and you start to accept it, and that starts to become your new reality, and it starts to become your new identity. And that is a scary thing, because as you start to identify with no longer I feel depressed, but I am a depressed person, you take on the identity that that's just who you are, then you are really in a place where you feel like you'll never recover from and never overcome. Now, let me give you the big aha. This was the big aha for me, and I hope that it will be the big aha for you as well. Are you stubborn? Because I'm stubborn. And I say that in a good way, meaning you can be bullheaded. So when you set your mind to something, you stick to it. You've been doing it with depression. You set your mind on it, that that's what you are and that's what you feel, and you have parked it there. So you got a little bit of stubbornness in you. I do too. So you're in good company. I am stubborn, and I'm going to show you how it can be a good thing right now. And this is one of the things that changed my life when I got this concept down. If I put all this energy and all these thoughts and emotions into a negative picture that I was painting about myself, and it became reality, then, and this is a universal law, and God created universal laws, then it is a law that if you put that same energy and emotion and feeling into painting a new picture of who you are and what you're capable of and how you want to show up in the world, then it must happen with the same intensity and speed as the depressive state happened. That's good news. That is exciting news. That should make you want to jump up and do a freaking cartwheel right now, because you know that it's been working for you on the negative. So now it's just time to flip it and make it work for you on the positive. You've already proven the negative worked, and it worked beautifully, and it worked for a long time. So let's make it work for you in a beautiful way, and let's make that last a lifetime, because you won't get those years back. But right now, you can roll up your sleeves and start on a new trajectory to a new you that has released depression 100%, and you are now standing in and cultivating this new version of you that's always been on the inside, but has been waiting for you to switch the energy over in your favor. Until next time, R3 for life.